finally got a Season 8 update! We haven't really gotten anything in Season 8 of Fortnite yet, but today we got a lot. We got new guns, crazy updates to devices, and there are a lot of leaks about some really cool stuff. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. Okay, you know we love to start with the leaks that have come out, and there's quite a bit in this one. It's been leaked that we should be getting the gravity gun soon, but what's really interesting is that it'll have a gravity gun controller with these settings of mode basic and complex. I have no idea what that means, but you know I'll be covering it when we find out. There's also a leak of an accolades device. These are some of the settings it'll have. It'll have an award count, a rocket launcher, a 9, and a fish icon, splash size settings. I don't really know what this is, guys. Maybe it's some sort of an award system where when you achieve something, you can see this on the screen. I don't know. And then this one's huge. We're gonna get a streaming radio device. I don't really know what this means. My guess is it's gonna be similar to like a Llamatron, but with music. So my guess is like the Llamatron, not everyone's gonna get to use it, at least initially, but we'll see it a lot in really cool LTMs and custom maps and stuff like that. This new foliage gallery was leaked, so we should be getting this at some point, maybe next week. Also, we should be getting the abductor gallery soon, which is really cool. I didn't expect that at all. And finally, it's been reported that the creative sword was removed from the files. So rip creative sword? I don't know, guys. I think this just means they're done testing it and they're gonna release it at some point to everyone. At least I hope that's what it means. Okay, now let's get into all of the new stuff. So first of all, we got quad crashers back. It's about dang time, guys. I love the quad crashers. Probably one of my favorite vehicles in the game. We finally have it back on the new physics system. Now it works exactly the same as it used to. There's not really any changes to it at all, but it works just fine. The spawn mechanism though has all of the settings that the new cars have, where you can like assign drivers when receiving from channels and stuff like that. Now I wish they had added a few more options to this. Similar to the cars, I wish you could turn on and off the boost here. So right now you have to wait a certain time before you can boost. I wish you could just have it on infinitely like you can in the cars. But other than that, it's really nice to have this back. All right, next, we got a really major overhaul to the Elimination Manager. So first, I mean, it just looks way cooler now. Not that that matters at all. But the really cool addition to this is now that you can assign the Elimination Manager to all creatures. So that includes sentries, fiends, all the way up to frogs and chickens and boars and wolves. Basically, any creature or thing that can run around can be assigned to the Elimination Manager. So let's just try this out for a second. We're gonna say if you eliminate a chicken, there's a 100% chance that they're gonna drop, I don't know, a spicy fish. So let's drop our spicy fish into the Elimination Manager. Okay, so we've got our wildlife spawner here, and I've turned off can wildlife drop loot so that it doesn't drop like a little drumstick. Okay, let's see if this works here. We got our assault rifle. Sorry, chicken, you're gonna have to die. Ah, look, guys, we got a spicy fish. Dude, that is so cool. Not only do they add that function, but they've added team and class functions to this. They've also added an elimination penalty. The way this would work is if you're eliminated and you were holding, I don't know, 10 spicy fish, and you had your elimination penalty set to 10%, then you would lose 1 fish if you got eliminated. You could make it 100% as well, so where you drop everything. Imagine with me for a second a game mode where you're trying to collect 100 gold, but every time you're killed, you lose half your gold and drop all of that gold. Then it's all about like collecting the gold around the map and killing people so they don't reach their goal and picking up their gold so that you increase your gold as well. I don't know, that sounds like a fun game mode to me. It was impossible before the changes to this device. Okay, now let's get into some of the little changes that are actually really cool. So the first change is in the VFX spawner. Well, first of all, it looks different, which Epic says reduces the memory of it, which you can see now only costs 500 memory, whereas before I think it was close to 3,000. Oh, I love that change. But they added a new spooky ghosts effect. Well, let's check this out. Whoa, there's a spooky ghost. Wow, that's cool, guys. Look at all the spooky ghosts everywhere. That's awesome. I did change this to fastest so that more spooky ghosts would show up, but you can, you know, mess around with this as much as you want. Man, that's so cool. Now, guys, I did just discover a glitch on this. So if you set concert rain, you'll get this concert rain here, which is cool. But then if you try and turn it off, like let's just go back to spooky ghosts, the rain still persists there. And even if I delete it, the rain is still on the whole map. And the only way to stop this is to go back to hub and then jump back into your island. So that's kind of an annoying little glitch on it, but I love the new spooky ghosts. Next update is on the Skydome device, which just like the VFX spawner, they changed the graphics on, which reduced the memory from 3,000 to 1,100. They've reduced it by a third just by changing the graphics a little bit. I gotta say this to Epic right now. If the graphics on these different devices are what's making the memory so high. Like having this really cool fish looking icon, just drop that entire thing off. If it's gonna reduce memory, we don't care what the actual devices look like if it reduces the memory. Like if even having that sun icon is increasing the memory by, I don't know, 200, just drop it out. So I love that they're reducing this, but let's reduce all of the memory on all of the devices. Okay, they've also added in the collectibles gallery a whole bunch of new coins. So you're gonna see here at the front, they've got this gold coin, this silver coin, this little bronze coin, and these music notes. Now, one thing I need to mention, I said this in my video yesterday, I hate that you can't just go in and like choose what you want. You have to place down the entire gallery to get, I don't know, the music notes. And then you have to delete everything else once you get the music note that you want. I don't understand why it's set up this way. But it is cool that we got these new collectibles. Epic's also added some new settings in the customizable light device. So if you go into the settings here, you're gonna see dimming amount and dimming time. You're gonna see these settings right here behind my head where you can dim and undim the light from certain channels. So let's try this out. Okay, so we've got a really bright light right there, but when we stand on this, it should reduce the light. Look at that, it just dimmed it down by like 90%. But then we can turn it back on and it dims back up. Dims back up, undims. That is a really cool new function that, I don't know, I can't wait to see what people do with this. There's also a really cool new setting that's been applied to all of these devices here. So the map indicator, the capture area device, and all of the objective devices. I'm gonna show you this setting right here on the map tracker. There's now a show objective pulse setting to where when it's activated right here behind my head, it's gonna have a little line that points towards that objective. So let me show you here. So you remember I put it over there on the white square when I activate it. Now I've got this indicator showing me where that map tracker is. So now this applies to all of these different devices as well, which is really cool for helping guide people through your maps. Epic's also added a pretty significant change to the item spawner. They've added team and class support to the item spawner, which means only those certain teams or classes can pick up items from this spawner. And Epic also said in a future update, they're going to make it so visibility on those items will only be available to those classes or teams as well. So that's gonna be a really significant change for multiplayer maps. They've also added some crazy changes to the item granter device. And I don't really understand how this works, but they added a grant on timer so that every, I don't know, 30 seconds in the map, it grants you more gold or spicy fish or whatever you put in there. But you can also make it so it grants these items when the person's offline. So someone could just load into your map and be assigned this item granter that grants something every 30 seconds and then log off, and every 30 seconds while they're offline, they're also getting 50 more gold or whatever it is you've assigned. That's crazy to me. And I don't really understand like what map would even want that. So maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. So it's a cool change and I can't wait to see why they added that. Okay, this next little update is really cool. If you go to your island settings and scroll all the way to the bottom, you're gonna see now you can enable fire damage. So that makes it so any weapons with fire damage can set structures on fire. So you can turn this on and off however you want. We haven't really had fire in creative mode yet. There were some hacks to this before, but I'm glad they've enabled this. The problem is though, we don't have any weapons that have fire damage. I don't think, at least. But hopefully that means we're gonna be getting those soon. Now, speaking of weapons, they gave us all of the new sideways weapons. I mean, check it out. We got the sideways rifle, which is awesome, and the sideways minigun, which is so cool. I just remember when Battle Royale would get new stuff and we wouldn't get it at all, ever. But now we're getting it like a week or two later, and it just makes me happy. Not only do we get these sideways guns, but we got these really cool paint launchers that were in the Battle Royale game mode. So we got this purple one and an orange one. Now you can really have red versus blue maps or purple versus orange maps, whatever. But also if you go into your consumables, you're gonna see the orange paint grenade and the purple paint grenade, which have the same effect as the launcher, but they're just more like water balloons. But I'm hoping you can add some like damage to this or something to where when you hit someone, you get a point, or I don't know. I feel like this needs to be updated in some way to make it so we can have more fun game modes. And finally, they've added the cube monster parts, which is really cool because combine that with the new settings on the Elimination Manager. When you have fiends on the map, you can basically recreate the sideways effect where it's dropping these cube parts every time you kill one of them. So basically now you can really recreate the sideways almost perfectly. So awesome new update, guys. And before we end, you know we gotta do the circle trick just for update day. Why not use the item spawner with some of the new weapons? Guys, I actually have never done a circle trick with the item spawner before. Wait a second, we gotta do this for real. What? Why have I never tried that before? That's awesome!